Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Come Sit at My Table. We are Tom and Melissa, and we're really happy that you have chosen to come sit at my table this morning. It's breakfast time, and it's time for my favorite meal of the day. I've always loved breakfast better than any other meal. And today we have a recipe that I feel like is a little unusual. We got this recipe from a friend of ours from Michigan. Alice shared this with me, and when she did, I thought, I don't know about that. Cottage cheese in pancakes, but it works. So I want to share it with you today. Let's go through the list of ingredients so you'll know what you need. You probably have everything at your house right now. We're going to start with 1 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour, 1/3 of a cup of sugar, just white granulated sugar. We're going to use 1 teaspoon of baking soda and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Now, if you're on a low sodium diet or you're trying to restrict your sodium, you can leave this out. It's not going to hurt anything. But if you're okay with it, that's just 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Then we have 1 cup of sour cream. And I'm going to tell you that I'm not a huge fan of sour cream. I like it in some things, but I've not quite filled my cup full because I'm just not a huge fan. But it's good in this recipe, I promise you. Then here's our unusual ingredient. 1 cup of cottage cheese. Now, maybe that's not unusual for you. Maybe you've always made your pancakes with cottage cheese, but I had never heard of this until Alice shared the recipe with me. Then we have 2 eggs, and we're going to use 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Now, the next ingredient is totally at your choice. In fact, you don't even have to use it. But you can put up to 2 cups of chocolate chips. Your choice, milk chocolate, semi-sweet, dark chocolate, whatever you like. Or in place of the chocolate chips, you could do fruit. Probably a cup of fruit, maybe a little more, 1.5 cups would be plenty, because fruit's going to give off some water and it'll make your pancakes a little thinner but as they cook. But Melissa and I love chocolate chip pancakes, so we're using chocolate chip. But you can substitute it out for fruit if you want to. Also, as you'll see at the end of the video, you can put fruit on top of your pancakes before you drizzle with maple syrup or whatever you like on top. In fact, you can even put jam on top of these pancakes. Just spread some jam on it and then drizzle it with syrup, or eat it without the syrup. But jam is really good on these pancakes. So today we're doing chocolate chips. And since I'm a huge fan of bananas, we're going to add some bananas and a few extra chocolate chips along with our syrup. Okay, let's get started. This comes together really, really quickly. We're going to take our flour and put it in a bowl. We're going to add our sugar. We're going to add our baking soda and our salt. And that's all that goes in the dry ingredients. And we're just going to whisk this up a little bit. Just get it mixed up together. And then we'll set that to the side. In a separate bowl, we're going to add our sour cream. Just scoop that right in there. Of course, we want to get it all out. We don't want to waste any. I'm not big on wasting food. If I'm going to buy it, I'm going to use it. And our cup of cottage cheese. I think Melissa's hungry this morning.
My stomach's growling.
I heard your stomach growl.
I thought you probably did.
I better hurry with breakfast, hadn't I? That was cute. Our 2 eggs are going in. I think that was... There it was again. I think that's her way of telling me breakfast should have been ready earlier. And just 1 teaspoon of vanilla. It's pretty good. You can guess at it. It's not that big of a deal. And we're going to whisk or stir that together. Actually, I think I'm going to use a spoon to do that. I think that'll just be better. So, break my eggs up a little bit. I'm hurrying, babe. I'm hurrying.
I'm fine.
Hey, this is a live video, so, you know, it is what it is. All right. Got a piece of egg white right there that doesn't want to stir in. Okay. Now, all we're going to do is stir the wet into the dry. And if you want to do it the other way, you can. It doesn't matter. Just put them together. Put them together and stir them up. Make it delicious. And you know, I have to scrape this. I can't stand it.
Didn't think you were going to tolerate that.
No, I can't stand that. If I'm going to pay for it, I'm going to use it. Okay, that's better. Now, we're just going to stir the two together. You don't want to over mix it. You just want to stir it until it's coming together. And you know what? Might have to add a little more of that sour cream. It's pretty thick. It's not too bad. Okay, and now in with our chocolate chips. Now you can see this is not a thin, runny batter. Of course, I don't know anybody that likes to make a pancake and it run all over the griddle and turn out as thin as a dollar bill. So you can see, I just want you to see that this is a thicker batter. All right, so let's start our griddle. You know what, I should have already had that started. And we're going to put some butter on here. I don't know why I didn't already have that on. It's heating up fast. So let's rub some butter on here. Now, if you want to use nonstick spray, you certainly can do that. That is just fine. That will work well. All right. I just like butter under my pancakes. And I had out a measuring cup. I was going to measure out a half of a cup. But I think I'm just going to scoop it out. All right, I'm just going to put 2 on here for right now so they aren't too crowded. Just a little bit more on this one. And we're going to kind of spread those out a little bit. You don't want them too thick because you want them to get done, but I don't like a thin pancake. All right, now those are going to take maybe 4 to 6 minutes on that side. You will know to flip them when they are done around the edge, when you can tell that they're kind of browning around the edge, and they form little bubbles on top. I'm going to turn that down a little bit. When they start to form little bubbles on top, you'll know that you can check the bottom. When the bottom is kind of golden brown, light golden brown, and there are bubbles forming on top, you can flip them. Once you flip them, it's going to take another 2 to 3 minutes probably. Now, I know you don't want to stay here and listen to me talk for the next 4 to 6 minutes. So we will stop and we'll come back when it's time to flip the pancakes and let you see what they look like. We'll be back real soon. Our pancakes are ready to flip. Now, I want you to notice, I might have had my fire just a hair too high because they are pretty brown. That's not going to hurt them. It's just that I really don't care for my pancakes to be that brown. I like them a little lighter than that. But
that's the chocolate chips too, I think.
But the chocolate chips do make it a little darker. And speaking of chocolate chips, Melissa thought I should remind you that you don't have to put 2 whole cups of chocolate chips or fruit in these. It's up to 2 cups. Also, if you like nuts in your pancakes, we love nuts, but we really don't care for them in pancakes. You can also put some nuts in it. So whatever, if you're going to put a cup of nuts, I would reduce the chocolate chips by 1 cup. Make it a total of 2 cups or less. Maybe a half cup of each if you don't want so many in it. So that's up to you. The same with the fruit. You know, it's up to 2 cups. It doesn't have to be the full 2 cups. All right, we're going to let these finish cooking. And when they're ready, we'll take them off and we'll be back to show you what they look like. These have cooked for about 2, maybe 2.5 minutes on this side. And I think they're ready to come up. So let's take them off. You'll notice they're not as dark on this side. And I think that's partly because the chocolate chips kind of went to the bottom and made it a little darker on that first side. Now, there were a couple things we wanted to tell you about. If you want to make it, oh, I better turn that fire off, hadn't I? If you want to make this even easier and not stand over a stove and flip the pancakes, you can put this batter in a small baking pan, like a 1-inch rimmed baking pan. We use a pan from Pampered Chef, and you can bake these in the oven. Baked pancakes are wonderful. You'd bake them on 350 for how long, Melissa? Do you remember?
Usually around 20 minutes.
20 minutes. So you can do these in the oven as well, and then just cut them into squares or rectangles and serve them. And they taste the same. They're really good. They're delicious that way. Also, you can top these with whatever you want to. Let's come over here and we will fix these. I'm going to put some banana on this one because, in my opinion, bananas and chocolate chips go really well together. So I'm going to put bananas on mine. You want bananas on yours?
I probably will.
Okay. So I'm going to leave that half for you. And, you know, just my opinion, but you can never have too many chocolate chips. So I'm just going to sprinkle a few more right on top here. And, of course, we have to have some maple syrup.
I would probably eat mine without the maple syrup because it would be so sweet too.
And you can do that because this has chocolate chips in it and some of that sugar and whatever, you know. You can do it without the syrup. I wouldn't.
No, you wouldn't, but I would.
Yeah, but you would. Now, let me tell you, that looks good enough to eat. And I have decided the cottage cheese is just in there to give it moisture. There's really no flavor added from the cottage cheese, or I don't think there is. It really just adds a lot of moisture to it. So I'm going to take a bite. You want a bite of it, babe?
Have you talked to my stomach lately?
I'm going to take that as a yes. Let me cut it smaller.
I was hoping you wouldn't hear that earlier, but
I hope everybody could hear that because that was funny. Hey, it's morning. It's time for breakfast. Her belly's growling.
that's delicious, sweetie.
Thank you. They really are good pancakes. Mm-hmm. And cottage cheese. Who knew?
Thanks, Alice.
Wow. Guys, these are so good. You may never make pancakes without cottage cheese again. Alice, we sure do appreciate this recipe. It is one of our family's staples now. It's so delicious. I'll finish those in just a minute. If you would, we would sure appreciate you going right below this video and giving us a thumbs up. That's the like button, just says you liked our video. If you've not already subscribed to our channel, right below the video, you'll see a box that says subscribe. All you have to do is click it one time. If you click it once, you're subscribed to our channel. You'll never have to click that again. Right beside of it's a little notification bell. Looks like a little dinner bell. If you click it and the word all, YouTube will notify you every time we add a new video, so you'll never miss one. And of course, there is a share button right below. If you click it, you can share this to your own social media page so your friends and family could see it, and it would help us grow our channel. Now, right below the video, there is a description box. It'll have the title of this recipe in it. You'll see it says cottage cheese pancakes. If you click in that box will open. Melissa always puts the written recipe there, so you'll have it written down already, and you won't have to try to write it down as we go. Also in that description box, she will put our contact information, our post office box information. So if you want to have that, you can. All right. Thank you guys for commenting and leaving us such sweet notes. Melissa reads those to me, and she tries to respond to them. So we do appreciate your kind comments. But most of all, we want you to remember that even for breakfast, you are always welcome to come sit at my table. Have a great day.